On this episode of Inside the Blueprint, beautiful elevator cabs and the technology to clean them. We'll visit a company who installs and repairs the water pumps of New York City. Plus, a little education into generic drug manufacturing. A community built around sustainability and the arts. Radios that help provide safety for schools and other buildings. New ways to ship all around the world. And the best one-of-a-kind glass and mirror creations. Plus, lots more. The tri-state area is full of unique buildings. In keeping with surrounding area architecture, historic districts, or new modern masterpieces, most notice the care and effort spent outside for all to see. But what people sometimes don't realize is the look and feel of the inside of a building is just as important as the outside, especially when it comes to unique elevator creations.
The elevators are usually updated because, as my father said one time, the elevators are the eyes to the lobby. CEC right now is recognized as one of the leading elevator cab companies out especially in the tri-state area, if not nation. And we do a lot of the major work, and we were actually contacted by also elevator consultants, because as this pandemic was going on, people were trying to figure out what to do with the buildings right now and move forward. And they approached us, knowing who we are in this industry.
The importance of having clean air in businesses basically is that we're not going to get sick. I think this pandemic is a wake-up call telling us now how important indoor air quality is that if you don't have clean air, you have areas and pockets inside buildings where people can get sick. And whether it comes down to SARS, CoV-2, or the pandemic that we're in, or even the common cold or flu, cleaning the air is the way to get past all that. Cleaning of elevators right now, very, very difficult. You get commercial buildings where the cars are basically in constant use, constant demand. Right now it's limited down to someone going inside and trying to wipe the car down with some kind of rags, cleaning agents, or disinfectants.
In order to keep elevators safe and clean, Nick Gretzuk developed Sterilyft. With its advanced technology, Sterilyft continues to clean elevators 24/7.
How does Sterilyft work? It's a very simple principle. I kind of paid attention to what ASHRAE and the real authorities are looking at, and we based it upon a few very simple steps. One, remove the air from the elevator. If you remove the air from the elevator effectively and rapidly, you're removing all the particles with it that could be contagious. Once you remove that from the elevator, you're working with filters to actually filter those particles out of the air. We based our system on a filter called a MERV 13 filter, which is a very high efficiency. MERV 13 takes about 98% of the particles out of the air that are within 0.3 microns to 10 microns. And then we're basically putting in the safest means that possible that we can put inside of a germicidal property of actually cleaning the air, and looking through all different things like ion-based and all different types of processes that we could use. We basically came down to UVC. What we're doing is we're providing a service that's not only cleaning the air and cleaning and getting rid of all the viruses that might be in the air, all the particles in the air, but if you clean the particles out of the air, they never have a chance to actually settle on the surface. So what in effect you're going to wind up having is the same thing as like taking a very powerful type of filter and putting it inside your house. Not only will you be able to breathe better, but you're going to have less dust. You're going to have less things building up on your surfaces. This also in effect happens inside the elevator.
Our flagship project right now, a big one, is One Penn, which is right next to the Madison Square Garden right now. That's been a major project for us with Vernado. We did all of Brookfield Place down at the city at the end there. We did 120 Broadway, 599 Lexington, 299 Park, Hilton. Been very blessed as far as having a great staff, great people who've been able to engineer these kind of projects, and it's our reputation of pretty much handling all these type of projects has preceded us.
To learn more about custom elevators or about Sterilyft, visit their website, CECElevator.com, Sterilyft.com, or watch this segment again on InsideTheBlueprint.com. All you have to do is turn on the faucet or push a button and the water starts flowing, or a toilet takes wastewater away. But where does the water come from, and where does it go once we've used it?
every tall building, both commercial and multifamily residential in the city, has got 3 different pump systems: an HVAC system, fire protection, and then a plumbing pump system covering both water and wastewater. The interesting thing about pumps is they're largely out of sight, and therefore they're out of mind. We take for granted that we have fresh water coming in and that all of our waste gets out of the building. But when gravity can't do the job, we need pumps in order to get fresh water in and up. Think about how tall the skyscrapers are in New York City. At the same time, we use water to get wastewater down and out of the building.
For over 90 years, PumpMan NYC, through its federal pump subsidiary, has been building and repairing pump systems throughout the TriState area, including residential, commercial, and municipal projects. These pumps are used in both freshwater and wastewater systems.
Well, PumpMan is a national pump service and repair company. We focus on pumps and motors. Our roots in New York City actually go back 90 years through our acquisition of Federal Pump. But today we serve New York City out of two locations, here in Astoria in our shop where we're standing today, and also in Canarsie in Brooklyn. One of the things that makes our company unique is we really focus on on-site maintenance, repair, and service. Think about it. If you own a building, oftentimes you know you have a problem because you lose water pressure, you have a foul smell, you have a backup in the system. You don't really know what to do. First thing you do is you're going to call PumpMan NYC. You're going to call us up and say, come out here and tell me what's going on with my pump system. Our guys go out to the job site. They're able to diagnose the problem, very much focused on getting the problem resolved. Sometimes we can bypass a bad pump, a bad motor, a bad control. We can pull that pump out, bring it here to our shop. We can diagnose the problem. We can give the end user a choice between replacing the component or the full assembly, or we can actually fabricate repair parts right here.
PumpMan NYC is a one-stop shop. We're able to handle turnkey projects. So from troubleshooting through removal, repair to reinstallation, we can handle pretty much repair from A to Z.
From installation to yearly maintenance to emergency service, PumpMan and their highly trained technicians can handle all water pump related problems.
We're vertically integrated from the ability to do on-site diagnosis. We can pull a pump or motor, bring it back to our shops, diagnose that problem. We can give our customer a choice. Would you like it repaired or would you like it replaced? We can design the system, install it, and then provide aftermarket service, including 24-hour emergency repair.
To learn more about PumpMan NYC, visit their website, pumpmannyc.com, or watch this segment again at InsideTheBlueprint.com. The pharmaceutical world is filled with tons of medicine options, from gel capsules to chewables, brand names to generics. It's estimated that between 85 and 90% of all prescriptions filled in the U.S. are done with generic drugs. How are these developed, and where do they come from, and how do you know what to choose? Let's find out.
I think that the biggest misperception of the brand name of generic drug is the fact that people think the quality is not as good. And by FDA's regulations and following the regulations, and they're very strict, the guidelines, that the drug has to be proven safe and effective and equivalent, bioequivalent to that of the brand name drug. The generic drugs are manufactured following the same regulatory standards that the FDA has set. They're manufactured in facilities that the FDA inspects, following good manufacturing practices, what we call GMPs. Generic drugs are less expensive because, quite frankly, they're not as expensive to develop.
Bayshore Pharmaceuticals are manufacturing experts in this field. Bayshore's manufacturing partners' facilities can develop and create quality-driven, generic, FDA-approved prescription drug products at competitive pricing.
Bayshore Pharmaceuticals started in 2011 as what's known as a virtual company, in that we didn't have any bricks and mortar, any manufacturing. we almost are a project manager. We would select the products that we want to bring to the market. We now have evolved. The business itself has become increasingly competitive. There's more and more companies doing it. They're coming from everywhere around the world for the same piece of business. And we recognize the fact that we would have to have some control over our manufacturing and supply. We have a very good understanding of manufacturing. I think a lot of the companies that started in this business, in this virtual model, were sales and marketing companies. So they might have known the front end of the business, but we understand manufacturing.
Environmental regulations have made it incredibly difficult to manufacture APIs in the U.S. In fact, almost 40% of new generic drugs that are approved come from manufacturing plants in India.
Our customers want lower prices, the general public wants lower prices, the government wants lower prices, and that's hard to do with making product here in the United States. So what we do is we try to work with companies that are vertically integrated, meaning they not only manufacture the drug product, but they manufacture the tablet as well. In 2018, we formed a collaboration with a company in India called IPCA Laboratories. IPCA took a stake in Bayshore, and that, going forward, that will allow us to have some control over our own manufacturing, because they are one of the world's largest producers of active pharmaceutical ingredients and the finished dose. So we will have a better, more visibility into their scheduling, their development, their manufacturing, and throughout the whole supply chain. We were the first company to market and distribute FDA-approved products coming out of Bangladesh. We work with a company called CEC Pharmaceuticals, and we're very proud and honored that they chose to work with us, and I think we've done a pretty good job for them. But that's an example of our global reach. We're not just here in the United States. If you ask people 5 or 10 years ago, would you envision having FDA-approved pharmaceuticals out of Bangladesh, there probably would have been a lot of skepticism. But we, together with CEC, we now offer a low-cost generic alternative from a region of the world that a while ago would have been unheard of. It's economics at this point, and quite frankly, until we see an acceptance of maybe a premium for products having to be made in the U.S. because it costs more, labor costs cost more, obviously. Until people are willing to pay a little bit more, the trend of overseas manufacturers, it's going to continue. It's the only way to sustain.
To learn more about generic medications available from Bayshore Pharmaceuticals, visit their website, bayshoreus.com, or see this segment again at InsideTheBlueprint.com. Imagine a self-sustaining community based on green initiatives, resident involvement, and rich history. That's what you'll find in Newark, New Jersey.
So welcome to Lincoln Park, the historical Lincoln Park. This is a wonderful community. As you can see, the bones of this community with all the historical mansions. When I think about Lincoln Park historically was a rich neighborhood with all the historical mansions around it, but juxtaposed behind these mansions were what they call the Black Red Light District, where all the major jazz clubs are located here, along with Savoy Records. But as time went on, things started to change with industrialization and things of that sort. But we created our organization, Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District, really to address the needs and the issue and to help to really restore this ecosystem here in Lincoln Park.
Since the beginning, Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District wanted to connect its neighborhood to the South Ward's historic Clinton Hill, creating a green Miracle Mile corridor connecting the twin communities.
I'm so excited about the Green Mile and its work to connect the Lincoln Park neighborhood with the Clinton Hill neighborhood, and it's a commitment to sustainability. It's a commitment to say to Newark residents who move into our downtown core as urbanites that when you get ready to start a family and you want a front porch and a backyard, that this historic community of Clinton Hill is here for you as a great place to live, to work, pray, and raise a family. Clinton Hill Community Action was started back in 2019 in response to everything that we were hearing in the community. Folks were saying that they were tired of seeing the trash. Our neighborhood was hit the hardest by the foreclosure crisis. We knew we needed to do something about housing, and it just came to a head that Clinton Hill Community Action needed to be to tap one of the neighborhood's greatest resources, and that's its people.
Well, Lincoln Park is not only a sustainable community development organization, they are a very small, lean team. And so my role as the lead agency for all of their arts and culture initiatives. So you're talking about hundreds of years of creativity that is now giving birth to the next generation of creatives here in the city of Newark, and we're just beginning.
Their community outreach and engaged partners have made it possible to create an ecosystem that's enjoyable, but more importantly, environmentally sustainable.
When we look at sustainable communities as a way to employ our local residents, we want to train them up to be experts in green infrastructure. And so the vision of the Southward Environmental Alliance is to let people know that you can be a part of what your community looks like, and you have a right to have clean air and access to sustainable amenities as you live in your city.
And all the work that we're doing here in Lincoln Park, you cannot do it without having partners. We have legacy partners that have been part of this project. One of them is PSCNG. They've worked with us from day one when we started working on our LEED certified housing. They have all these jobs to make sure that Newarkers are employed, and so they're just a true partner. You want to have the residents totally engaged, and it's not just Lincoln Park's idea, it's our idea together about what we're doing in this community.
To learn more about the Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District, visit their website at lpccd.org or watch this segment again at InsideTheBlueprint.com. The first two-way radio was created in the early 1920s to help police transmit information quickly and efficiently. But it wasn't until decades later that digital radios changed the game.
Main key difference between an analog and a digital radio is the actual carrier wave that goes over a given frequency. So an analog, when you look at it on an oscilloscope, it does this, like hills and valleys. And when you transmit on the digital side, it's sawtooth, so it's jagged. So what's the two differences? Analog's actual voice going over a given frequency, where digital is the language of computers, it's zeros and ones. So why does that matter? Inside the modern radio now, they're computers. There's no longer crystals in them. So when you operate in the digital mode, you get better call quality and better range.
For over 30 years, Command Radio Communications has been solving radio communication problems and creating work environments that are safe and efficient.
So the catalyst that started our company about 30 years ago was an incident at a county jail. Our founder, my father, Mario, was a captain at West New York Police Department at the time and was one of the officers that responded on the scene, along with several other of the local police departments. And what became very apparent is that Police Department A could not talk to Police Department B on the radio. So it became an issue in coordinating efforts trying to get people into jail and securing the scene. Command Radio has been a Kenwood dealer for the past 20 years, and the reason we chose Kenwood is because they make a quality product for a quality price. Now, one of the unique things about Kenwood is they take all the great advancements from their consumer products line, like the really high-end microphones, the high-end speaker technology, and they phase that into their two-way radio products. So our stuff tends to sound better and tends to operate better and is more user-friendly than our competition. It's a really sad state of affairs in our country that our schools have become a target. Where two-way radios can help with safety and security within a school is it's a unique product. From one person can talk to many. So if they see something, many people are going to hear what's going on to be able to follow the safety procedures within the school. The police department can also be informed simultaneously if there's proper links and a plan in place so that we can get the kids either out of the school as quickly as possible, have them shelter in place, whatever the situation dictates.
The majority of two-way radio in the U.S. today requires an FCC license to legally operate. Without a proper license, you run the risk of large fines. That's why starting with an FCC license is the most important step to any radio system.
The reason for this is frequencies are not infinite, they're finite. There's only so much spectrum available to put radios on. So the FCC actually works as a traffic cop. So you apply for a license for the particular use you want to do, and then the FCC goes and looks at who else is in that area that you could interfere with, because the goal is to keep enough space that people are not interfering with one another, but also achieve folks' goals. At Command Radio, we take care of this for our customers. We go through the whole application process. We make sure that they get the right license for their needs. We do everything custom, direct to the customer's needs. Whether they're a school, a police department, a small business like a manufacturing. And the big key of working with us is training. The radio is only going to be as successful as the user that knows how to use it. And that's the biggest thing we come across, is people don't really understand how to truly use their radios. And we offer a lot of training here at Command Radio.
To learn more about Command Radio, visit their website, commandradio.com, or watch this segment again on InsideTheBlueprint.com. The travel industry introduces us to new worlds, and the fishing industry brings us food. But who keeps those industries' fleets going?
90% of the world's global commerce and trade is transported by sea. That's just a combination of it being cost prohibitive to fly it, or it's just simply too large or too massive in volume to be transported any other way. So ships are extremely vital and crucial to the world's global economy. Without these ships, the worlds don't run, and without Horizon, the world doesn't run.
Horizon Air Freight was started in 1971. It was an idea that was born within my dad, and he started this company when he was 44 years old. And it was designed with specific intent of trying to support the Greek shipping community. The company grew under his tenure, under his watch, and slowly expanded services to basically be an all-purpose freight forwarder logistics company.
Horizon offer clients door-to-door shipments for them, where we pick up from the supplier and deliver direct to the vessel or to the consignee's door.
Horizon Air Freight brings high-quality service to transporting supplies and equipment to fleets all over the U.S.
We believe that quality is much more important than quantity. We thrive as a high-touch customer service-based company. We're not a small mom and pop shop, and we're not one of the giant freight companies out there. We are like a boutique, but yet able to offer, discount pricing when necessary.
Our clients get the best pricing from Horizon due to the fact that we are able to consolidate their orders, which will enable to be more cost-effective to them.
So there's many components that are involved with the transportation, but the last component, which is what we call the last mile service, which includes the final delivery to the ship, is the most critical. To have the capability to clear customs in some very remote countries and be able to make delivery to that ship wherever it's located is very critical. That really distinguishes us from a lot of other companies because we provide that door-to-deck service.
Our technology is user-friendly, and it is designed with our clients in mind. They are able to track from the time of collection to the time of delivery. We show total transparency through our website.
If you're looking for a new logistics company, visit their website, half.com, or watch this segment again on InsideTheBlueprint.com. From unique shower doors to beautiful glass canopies, there's an immense amount of time and technology needed to create such beautiful pieces.
When it comes to glass, a lot of the misconceptions often are, everything's cut to size. There's zero tolerances when it comes to glass. So if an opening, or a doorway is 3 by 7, whatever it may be, that doorway is always going to be out of plumb, out of square, to some extent, whatever it may be, whether it be 10 inches, whether it be 1/8 of an inch. And you can't shrink the glass, you can't grow the glass, so everything has to be customized as per the existing opening.
Jerome Aluminum is a third-generation glass fabrication company that handles everything from the measurements to the installation.
Jerome started in 1961. My father started the company. He ran it for about 20 years. I took the company over when I was 23 years old, 1981. And Jerome, has grown tremendously over the last 40 years. We primarily focus on interior glazing for hotels, condos. We've done probably the most high-profile jobs in the city in reference to interior glazing.
With project managers and glazing specialists, Jerome Aluminum can handle any glass project.
As far as shower doors go, for example, we have select essentially local fabricators that we turn to. They do all the notching, the drilling, the tempering, things like that. As far as mirrors go, we stock ton of mirrors. We have automated cutting tables, polishing machines, drills, you name it. That stuff we do ourselves.
We spend a tremendous amount of time with our customers and building relationships. And it's not just a saying, it's what we believe in. Without a customer, you have no business. So it's easy to lose a customer. It's very hard to obtain a new customer. And we do everything we can to satisfy them.
Being so close with the people here and our customers and clients, the family-oriented environment and atmosphere that we try to cultivate, they can rely on us because of it. They can depend on us because of it. And we, by treating them like family and such close friends, because they are family or such close friends, we feel we owe that to them also. I would never let my sister, my mom, my dad, my cousin down if I could help it. And I treat my customers and my peers the same way.
To learn more about how to get a custom glass piece for your home or business, visit their website, jeromeglass.com. Thanks for watching Inside the Blueprint. For more information on any of the products you saw today, or to find out how to become part of the show, please visit InsideTheBlueprint.com.